Hi, you're listening to Everyday Superpower, a place where you can learn how to read body language and how to correctly assess your own as well as others' nonverbal communication. You're going to be able to essentially read the minds of others, whether they're communicating with you or not, purely by the gestures and the behaviours they project. Alright, so if you like the topic at hand, what I would recommend is you click like and you click subscribe. I would appreciate it. And alternatively, if you want to click the link in my bio, you would be able to request an inquiry of your own, okay? So feel free to get down there and drop me some support. Anyway, let's get on to the lesson at hand. What we're going to be talking about today is a common phrase, okay? We talk about they gave them the cold shoulder. What does that mean? The cold shoulder, what does that mean? So we're going to talk about the cold shoulder today and what it means to give someone the cold shoulder if you were given the cold shoulder, alright? Basically, it means you're turning away from someone. Somebody's turning away from you or vice versa. It signifies that one is moving away psychologically, alright, and physically from the individual or their ideas, alright? We've talked about body blading, we've talked about being face to face with somebody, and now we're going to talk about turning away from each other. It all goes hand in hand, but the more we cover it and the more we look at different perspectives and angles, the more we're able to understand the body language as a whole, because it's a whole big interlinking spectrum of information, okay? When so many little things mean the same thing or hold the same elements and principles, okay? And you can apply that to different people in different patterns and apply it to different behaviors and so on and so forth. So the more you learn on this particular subject, it really does add up quick, all right? So we'll see the cold shoulder when somebody starts to disagree. So let's say somebody is face to face, all right, you know, a close angle towards you, bringing you in, and then you start talking about something they disagree with, such as, you know, the individual isn't a fan of, you know, men wearing sandals. And, you know what I mean, it's a sunny day. This fella don't want to see that. He thinks people should wear socks with their sandals. So you start talking about how excited you are to go and put your sandals on what you just bought. And you just can't be wearing socks with them. You don't feel like doing that. You feel like getting your toes out and all that. So as he's listening to you, right, he might not know you well enough to start, you know, faring up against your point, contradicting you. I mean, he should do, because it's quite a comical thing. He can express himself in a positive manner and sort of create some sort of bond. But this person's a little bit insecure and he doesn't know how to speak for himself. So he's listening to you and he's a bit grossed out by it all. And what he's doing is he's saying, yeah, okay. But you see his shoulder and his torso and his chest slowly starting to you know, to shift away. Maybe not his body and his feet as a whole. He still stands within your space, within your social space, but his body is starting to turn around, alright? And it might be ever so subtle, but it'll be there, because he's turning away and getting away from the conversation, the point, and his psychological sort of approach to what's going on is just like, get away from this. This isn't pleasing to the brain. This is the pleasure and pain principle. This is attraction and repulsion. He's repulsed and he's in a painful position, okay? It shows indifference and dismissal, all right? And it is a barrier or a body blocking behavior, because the most open we can be, okay, which is why I always tell you, don't cover your chest or your torso, don't block them up with your arms. If you can undo a couple of buttons on your jacket, try to do so, alright? Because it all adds up, because if everybody's walking around defensive, covering themselves up and crossing their arms and so on and so forth, when someone has a conversation with you and you're loose and you have your stomach out and your chest out, not literally, because of course you'll be wearing a shirt of sorts or whatever, but if you're comfortable and confident to expose that midsection, which, you know, our brain tells us to cover up for survival protocol, but if you can consciously sort of think, all right, my animal brain is kicking in, but I'm going to approach this as a logical human, they're not going to hurt me, given that you do believe they're not going to hurt you, and you expose, that other person is going to subconsciously look at you and think, wow, I don't get this often. People normally close themselves up towards me, but this person is letting me in. This must be what a friend is, okay? So when people turn away from you, they're creating a barrier and a block to their midsection and their internal organs and to the potential threat they see before them, i.e. the person with their toes sticking out of the sandals, alright? The cold shoulder was a reference to inferior meat being served to undesirable guests. Alright, historically speaking. It was the cold shoulder of mutton, alright? So whereas the rest got to eat the premium and the best of the food, the undesirable guest was stuck with, you know, a less than desirable, you know, cold shoulder of meat. Alright? And that's about it. It's closed body language. As we know, we would much rather have open body language presented to us than closed body language. And I don't think I need to go into too much depth. If you are interested more in regards to proxemics and how close somebody is and, you know, how they're angled towards you, I've done a video regarding being face to face. I've got a body blading video which is regarding the varying angles a person can have, which is somewhat alike this, and so on and so forth. So just click my profile, you'll be able to have a look at a whole wealth of information ahead of you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Click the link in my bio. If not, like and subscribe. Speak to you soon. Goodbye.